Welcome to Money Matters, the podcast that focuses on how to use the money you have, make the money you need, and save the money you want. Now, here is your host, Miss Kim Chapman.
Welcome to Money Matters, where we teach you how to use the money you have, make the money you need, and save the money you want. You might be wondering, where's Kim? This isn't Kim. I'm Betty Mujica Milano, and today I have the pleasure of filling in for Kimberly Chapman while we discuss the digital technology divide, which I am interested to hear more about. You know, there's a hidden cost of being disconnected. When we hear the word disconnected, we usually think about losing internet service or having a dead cell phone or not having the internet or something like that. But what if the most expensive disconnection isn't just being disconnected from technology, but what happens when that happens to you? Like disconnection from people, from purpose, from work, from school, and from your maybe financial future. So I want to welcome our guest. Can you introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald and I am the Director of Development at CACRC. If you're from Baton Rouge, you may know us as the place that recycles computers, but we're also a place that works towards bringing digital access and bridging the digital divide in our community.
Awesome. Can you tell us what CACRC means?
CACRC is the Capital Area Corporate Recycling Council. It is a mouthful. So is CACRC.
Awesome. And what is your role there?
I'm the Director of Development.
Okay, perfect. So can you tell us a little bit about your mission and who benefits from your services?
Okay, so our mission is twofold. We recycle electronics to keep things out of the landfill, but we also refurbish electronics and work towards bridging the digital divide. So in Louisiana, approximately 1 in 5 families don't have a computer in their home. And a lot of people don't think of a computer as an essential tool. People still think of it as a luxury unless they don't have one. We realize that in 2026, a computer is used for homework. It's used for job applications. It's used for resume building. It's used for job training. It's used for budgeting apps and software. It's used for telehealth services. And really, it's even used for connection to friends and family. And so not having a computer in the home creates a barrier to access of many of those essential tools.
So is that what we're talking about when we talk about the digital divide? The
Yes.
people who have access and the people who don't?
Correct. When we talk about the digital divide, we're talking about the people who don't have access to a computer in their home, and we're stating that as a laptop or a desktop, not just a cell phone, and or people who don't have internet in the home.
Okay, I was going to ask that if the laptop, desktop versus cell phone question comes up, because I know a lot of people these days rely on their phones.
Right. Most people at this point do have cell phones, but a lot of things just aren't cell phone friendly. Things like job applications, they're not easy to do with just your thumbs.
I agree.
Or any kind of government application or telehealth services don't even like you to use your phone. So the access component, the computer access, we're talking specifically about a laptop, a desktop, and sometimes even a tablet, but those are sometimes difficult for some applications as well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm firmly a millennial, and I grew up with laptop culture. Watching movies on a laptop was kind of primary mode of entertainment when I was in college. So I still am we have a laptop in the home that my daughter gets to use for her homework and for games and things like that, as well as like all of kind of the business stuff that we do for our family. So can you tell me a little bit about the hidden costs of the digital divide and of not having access?
People don't think about everything we do, but job applications, job training, resume building, teleconferences, Zoom calls, all of those things, we rely on our computer, but also things like budgeting apps, spreadsheets, Excel, even if you're using an old-fashioned budget and you're just using an Excel sheet. Not having a computer and doing that by hand, yes, it can be done. But when your banking information is also online, it's a lot easier to have access to it all.
Yeah.
In an online platform.
That makes sense. Why is it that you said 1 in 5 families in Louisiana don't have a computer or internet access in their home?
Obviously, there's a small population that's their choice, but typically when we look at the digital divide, we see overlapping statistics of high instances of poverty as well as low educational proficiency.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of research on the data looking at populations, the poverty line, and the Department of Education economically disadvantaged. Those numbers vary greatly.
Yeah.
And I had to look at why. Like, why is this parish having a 18% population, but it says their schools have a 75% economic disadvantage?
Right.
So that comes into play with anyone receiving any kind of SNAP benefits or Medicaid or Social Security benefits.
Right.
Those all play into the economically disadvantaged. And so you may be above the poverty line and receive some sort of assistance that puts you into that category. So, and then we're seeing in a lot of the parishes where there's high poverty, low digital access, there's also low academic proficiency. And a lot of people are like, okay, we'll just bring back the pen and paper. As an educator, I agree. Kids learn best with pen and paper. However, that's not what is happening in our schools. All of the textbooks, per se, are on some sort of online platform. And even though most of the state has a 1-to-1 or close to 1-to-1 computer to student ratio, elementary students across the board are not allowed to bring their computers home.
Yeah.
But in many places, middle and high school students aren't either. So they have access to a device during the school hours, but when it comes to homework, many times they don't have that basic access. And as a parent, as a former teacher, I can tell you, teachers just aren't assigning homework on paper because there's an assumption that everyone has access. And so then people say, well, libraries have computers. They can go there. It's true, but libraries close at 6 p.m. or 8 p.m., depending on where you're located. And you have to factor in the time that it takes to drive there, the time you're spending there while a parent could be cooking or taking a sibling elsewhere, working from their house. And so those are some of the hidden costs. It's not just the device. It's if you don't have one, you're also having to use your resources and your time to get to a public space that has computers.
Absolutely. Yeah. And honestly, you're speaking as someone who's never been part of the digital divide, got a desktop when we were kids, and I've pretty much always had a computer in our home, and our daughters now have access to the same resources. And so when we go to the library, it's just for fun to check out books, and we're not having to, be mindful of that. So I think that that's actually really, really eye-opening and good. It's always good to just know more about the way other people live, I think. So you kind of touched on like the financial aspect of like budgeting and like the way we budget now versus the way people used to do it. And obviously there's so many apps and tools. So can you tell me a little bit about how you see the way that like managing our finances has changed with technology?
I remember when I was a teenager and I had my first bank account. My mom gave me the checkbook and showed me this is how we maintain our check register. And now people don't use checks, so they're not maintaining a check register. You have to pretty much depend on online banking. And some people don't ever write down, this is how much is in my bank and keep track of it. But online banking is the start. You know, that's just where we go. We can see what we've spent. We can see how much is in our account. We can do transactions to put it into savings or into a retirement account, all with a click of a button. But also, you know, people rely on budgeting apps, things like Rocket Money. I mean, we see it all over the apps, but they track, they see if you have multiple accounts on accident in the same company, and so they help you organize online things that you may have missed. And because everything happens with just a click, it's easy to accidentally subscribe twice to some sort of service and not realize it.
Yeah.
And everything comes out automatically. So having online tracking tools help us know where our money is going well, because we're not having to take the physical action of spending the money. Or we almost think PayPal and Cash App is like fake money, because it's not, it doesn't feel like a real transaction.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, you really are right. It's like, again, coming, you know, from where I come from, like, you know, I grew up with more cash and cards and things. And nowadays, younger people, it's like everything is truly digital. Like, they're not often even touching a dollar bill, which is crazy to think about. It's crazy. No, that makes sense. So yeah, somebody who's trying to get, you know, on track with their finances, a laptop is kind of integral to being able to utilize online banking tools to the max, which, not to plug, but we do have a new online banking platform here at Neighbors that just launched. And again, all of that to serve our members better and give them more access to the tools that we offer. So you need a laptop too.
I think I don't bank at Neighbors. Sorry, everyone.
It's okay.
But what is happening with online banking with our banks has grown a lot, even just in the last 5 years. And so with mine, it shows me how much I'm spending on eating out or entertainment or bills. And the budgeting is now integrated into your online banking account if you want it to be.
Yeah.
It not only shows you where you're spending it and gives you a nice little pie chart to see, it can help you plan efficiently to spend better and to save better.
Yeah, no, that's totally true. And I think as someone who kind of primarily looks at my bank account from my cell phone, I would say that those tools don't pop out to me as much as when I do go to my bank account from a laptop or a computer, because it's such a small screen.
Well, think about our senior citizen population who started off in a world with cash and checks, and they're having to convert to how life is now. And so one comment we get from a lot of our customers is they're looking for a desktop or a laptop for an elderly parent because they can't see their banking information from a phone. And, you know, phone is convenient for a lot of us because it's in our hands. It's with us everywhere we go. But when we think of people our parents' age and older, our grandparents' age, they're needing something that is more accessible.
Yeah.
And the computer makes a lot of things more accessible and just easier to navigate than a phone app. And so most budgeting platforms and banking platforms look differently from on a phone. They're programmed where they look one way on a phone and they look a different way on your computer screen. And so if you're just wanting to quickly check your account information, how much do I have? What's my most recent transaction? Something like that. The phone is sufficient. If you're really wanting to look at your bank statements, it's going to be a lot easier to do on a computer. If you're wanting to look at the graphs that show you where you've been spending, that's easier to see and navigate on a computer.
Absolutely. So you mentioned customers, which has me my curiosity piqued. So how does somebody come to you and And how does the process work?
We have a storefront.
Oh.
So in our facility where we recycle and refurbish, we have a storefront. We're located at 1400 Main Street in Baton Rouge.
Oh, perfect.
We also have an online store that people who are out of Baton Rouge can access. So that's computersforlouisianafamilies.com. And those are two ways that people access getting low-cost, high-quality devices.
Mm-hmm.
We are working towards bringing pop-up shops to different areas all over Louisiana. And that's really exciting. We're looking to partner with anyone, really, but banks, libraries, community organizations, schools, because in areas where there is low access to computers and or internet, there also tends to be not many places nearby where they can purchase a computer or have a computer serviced. And so that provides an additional barrier,
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay. Let's do a pretend scenario.
Okay.
I am a mother, and this isn't pretend because I do actually have 2 children, but I'm a mother of a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I don't have, a laptop or a desktop in my home. And I'm looking for something for $200. That's what I have. Are you able to make that happen for me?
Not only can we get you a computer, we can make sure you have Microsoft Office on it as well. So in our storefront, we have a program called Computers for Louisiana Families, where we already have discounted technology and we can offer a further discount. But even without that, our starting rate for a computer with Windows 11 is about $160, and then we can get Microsoft Office to you for $30.
Wow.
So
that's great. That's a lot. That's a lot cheaper than I would have imagined.
And then we also have some Chromebooks. Now, sorry everyone if you really love a Chromebook, but as an educator, I say Chromebooks are kind of like computers but broken. I shouldn't say that as the digital technology, but Chromebooks are what most of our students are using in schools. They're easy for the students to navigate. They have to have internet to be used. You can access the Google Suite. We have Chromebooks that we keep in the storefront for $79.99. But if someone's like, I just really can't afford that, well, we're going to go down to what they can afford.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess speaking about Chromebooks being kind of the primary tool for kids in a lot of schools, like, what do you think this is kind of a big question, but like the influence of technology in education and kind of setting the scene for future earning potential?
Technology and education, obviously people focus a lot on the problems with it, but it's not going anywhere. We need to teach our students how to use their computers well. Shame on us if a student finishes high school and they don't have the ability to type, or they don't have the ability to access financial literacy tools, or they don't have the ability to even know how to do some online investing. Louisiana legislator has required that high schools begin to offer a financial literacy class, which is amazing. Yeah. We're all celebrating that, but they haven't put any standards to it. So that's also financial literacy wise, that should be a priority with our education, with the Bessie board. They're the ones who, in the Department of Education, they establish standards.
Yeah.
So now that this is a requirement, hey, everyone, you're required to take financial literacy. The next step is to be standards and how to bring that financial literacy and combine it with the use of technology.
Yeah.
Because if we're teaching financial literacy the same way we taught it in 1997, the basics are there, but the tools are different.
Right. Right. It's like teaching something conceptually versus teaching something like actionable.
Right.
I always talk about actionable things in my family. And yeah, so it's like a difference between like graduating from that class or passing that class and actually being able to leave the class knowing how to set up a budget for yourself.
Set up
online.
a budget, do your taxes. I mean, that's online.
Yeah.
And it's not hard to do online.
Yeah.
And people always are like, you should learn how to do taxes in high school. Maybe, but if we're going to have financial literacy, that should be part of it.
That should be part of it. Yeah, I agree. So this is hopefully a happy, uplifting question, but like, what are some success stories? Like, what's a success story you can share with us of someone who got access to technology?
I'm going to share a few.
Yay.
To tie in some of the different places. So I started working this job part-time in January and came onto the team full-time in March.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first emails I received was from someone that said, hey, my husband is currently without work. Our car is broken down. We have 2 children. I have an opportunity for a really great remote job, but the only barrier is I don't have a computer with Windows 11. Can you help me? Yes, we can. We got her a computer within the week. She was able to start her job. She had emailed that she was one missing paycheck away from homelessness. And she was able to take a job, feed her children, keep her house, take care of her family. That's a real story. That's real success. We have had some people in the domestic violence shelter call us and say, hey, I'm working towards my GED. I'm trying to get on my feet. I'm trying to apply for jobs. And we set them up with a computer. And one of my favorite success stories, the girl has gotten through her GED classes. She got a job and she got an apartment with her kids.
That's awesome.
And so we've seen success stories like that that are just so beautiful. Another one, we were at a job fair and people who went to the resume training were able to, they didn't know when they showed up, they got a computer.
Oh my gosh.
They were able to put that into practice.
That's very Oprah of you guys.
You get a computer. You get a computer.
Everybody
Yes, very
gets a
Oprah.
computer.
And some of the comments we got, and this is real, this isn't me just making stuff up for you. There were 2 guys that said, I've been coming to the library every single day to apply for jobs. Now I can apply for a job from my home because they also received a hotspot. One lady teared up and said, today is better than Christmas.
Girl, you're about to make me cry.
And then one gentleman who is a single dad with 2 daughters said, this means the world to me. I'm able to be the parent my children need because I'm going to be able to get a job with this computer. Those are real situations that I've seen just in the short time that I've worked at CACRC.
That's incredible. That honestly, this week's been an emotional week for me. My daughter started kindergarten, but you're really tugging at the heartstrings over here. And truly in a way that it's like, I've never thought about these things. Like, truly, I've never had to, right? Like, I've always had access. And so it's like to hear that a laptop can make the difference of somebody being able to get their livelihood is incredible. And it's really beautiful. Wow. I never thought I'd be crying over laptops, but
right?
Here I am.
I mean, honestly, same. I've always worked in professions that were obviously like human professions.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Honduras. I did humanitarian aid. I ran a children's home. I had a feeding center for children. You know, I did volunteer brigades. I directed them. I was a teacher. That's obviously. And so when I was approached by our executive director about this job, I was like, technology, recycling, I'm not sure this fits. And the more we talked and the stories he shared, I was like, oh, I see where the human component is. Because I would have a hard time being in a job that didn't have a strong human component. And to see that a laptop really is more than just a piece of technology, it really can transform a life in a way that many of us don't think about is it's really special.
That's awesome. I'm surprised at how moved I am by this. Yeah, I mean, and I'm so glad you came to tell us about it because, these are the things where it's like maybe when more people know about it, then the more they might want to get involved and help. So I guess I have a couple of questions, which is like, number one, how is somebody who is interested in helping the organization, like maybe with a donation or volunteering or donating money, how can they get involved?
There's a lot of ways. I'm going to kind of, rather than just sending you to my website,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a kind of a cop-out for the question. We receive electronics from all businesses. I mean, we receive them individually too. So I'm going to touch on the business component, business and industry component first, and then talk about individuals.
Okay.
So for businesses and industry, we have free or low cost pickup all over the state of Louisiana.
Oh.
When we say low cost, it's because there's some things we don't accept for free because we can't do anything with them. We just send them downstream. And so we have to charge a small fee for printers and copiers.
I was gonna say, like, that was my first thought, was printers
those
and copiers.
giant poster makers.
Yeah.
But for individuals, we actually have partnerships with all of the East Baton Rouge libraries. You can take old computers, chargers, gaming systems, CPU switches to any library.
I didn't know that.
To the circulation desk. All 15 branches of East Baton Rouge libraries. The Gonzales location in Ascension Parish and both branches in West Baton Rouge. So we would love to have a recycling drop-off point in every library system in the state. That would be amazing. We also, you can donate. All of our donations go directly towards putting a laptop in the hands of someone who does not have one, towards bridging the digital divide. We're blessed as an organization to not have to depend on grants for our daily operations. That comes through the recycling component, that comes through the sales, but the donation side of it, we can only donate with money that is donated to us. So people.
So like if someone donates cash, then that could maybe subsidize an entire laptop for someone. Like if someone's like, I don't even have $200.
Right.
Then if I were a donor, then there's like a fund or something where.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have the Computers for Louisiana program. It would go into that program's fund. And then we also have the CACRC Believes program, which is when nonprofits come to us and they're like, we're trying to set up a computer lab. We're trying to do something in our school. And we're able to partner with them then in the technology component with those funds. And so there's links to donate via our website. Volunteering, we have events throughout the year. We're going to have a bunch of volunteers at our event coming this weekend. We're going to have volunteers. We always have volunteers for our Earth Day event. And as we expand our pop-up shops throughout the state, that's going to provide a lot of volunteer opportunities for people throughout the state.
Okay, cool. That's great. So what's the event going on this weekend?
This weekend is our back-to-school bash. We're going to be at the main library in Baton Rouge, and it's our biggest sale of the year. So technology is extra discounted. Our laptops are $150. Our Chromebooks are $50. Our desktops are $100. We'll have our 4G hotspots out there for $30. Internet plans for $20 a month.
Oh, wow.
So that's our big event. It's our biggest one. We started doing the pop-up shop away from our main location last year, and it was just wildly successful. And so we've gotten a lot of people sharing about it this year. There's a lot of excitement generated here in Baton Rouge about it.
Yeah, and Neighbors is a sponsor of the event,
They
which
are.
we're excited to support, obviously. Our main focus here at Neighbors, at least with our kind of like charitable work, is really focusing on education. And so when that opportunity came through, I was like, oh, this is totally aligned to our mission, making sure families have what they need to get started with back to school. And like I said, I've got a kindergartner incoming this week, and yeah, like I want every kid to have what my kid has. That every kid having what they need to have a great back to school season and a great start to school. Every year it's a fresh start, and you guys do this event every year?
We do.
Perfect.
We do. Yeah. Students beginning the year prepared and what they need gives them an extra level of confidence to begin the year well.
Totally.
And to stay on track throughout the year. So we love being able to step into a place to support students and families. But the event isn't just for students. Anyone can be a part of it.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. And where's it at?
The main library on Goodwood Boulevard.
Yeah. And guys, this probably is going to come out after the event, but where can they go to learn about all of your upcoming events?
We do most of our events. We stay updated on social media. So our Instagram is CACRC.br. Our Facebook is, you can look up CACRC. You know, you don't have to put in the handle for it.
Yeah.
But we're on Instagram and Facebook mostly. We have a LinkedIn.
Anywhere you get your social updates,
wherever you enjoy, social media,
your social media. Awesome. So, is there anything for you like that? Like, if you had a wish list of one thing that you could change to fix the digital divide, or something that you wish you could change today with a snap of a finger, as far as the digital divide goes, what would it be? Tough one.
It is. Honestly, right now, I'm really focused on Northeast Louisiana. That is where I want to do a lot of work in the coming year, because that is where we see the greatest gaps in so many places, not just digital divide, but when, it's the Delta region, and when the cotton industry kind of left there, no industry has come in and taken the place. And a lot of the people that are there have to go to Vicksburg or Natchez or, other places, or Monroe, depending on where they are, to have work. And we've had some communication with some people there being like, if I could get an online job, it would be helpful to me. And so that's really been on my heart the last couple of months as I did some deep research into what's happening in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And so if I could, my mentor always asks me if I had a magic wand and I could, wave it to make anything I wanted happen, I would say we would have a strong presence in Northeast Louisiana during 2027.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. And so that does mean that you guys serve the entire state.
We do.
Even though you guys
we're located here,
capital
and
region.
For a long time, it was really only the capital area. So that's why we typically just say CACRC now rather than the entire name, because we are moving statewide. We want to be a statewide partner for bridging the digital access divide.
Perfect. AI. What do you feel about this? Curious for myself, but, do you think that that's going to further the digital divide for the people who aren't currently having access?
I think the lack of knowledge on how to use it well is going to create a further barrier to some people. I don't think we should become reliant on it. I think we need to take steps to figure out how it's not going to kill the areas where they're located. We are environmentally friendly recyclers, but there's a lot of resourcefulness in it. But yes, I think people who don't have access to computers and aren't exposed to how to learn to use it well is going to further the gap with people.
Yeah, that makes sense. So if you just have a closing thought, anything else that we haven't touched on that you wanted to share about?
When I first talked to Kim and I pitched this idea to her, I was like, I know a lot of people aren't going to see the immediate connection between financial literacy and digital access. And so my goal on coming on here was to kind of bridge that, but to also show that digital access has no longer become a luxury. Not just in our state, like in 2026, it's become something where we depend on to access pretty much everything we do, any kind of application or resource or advancement for education or career. We're needing technology to do it.
Yeah.
And so my goal in coming on here was just to simply further expand the conversation of why what we're doing is a human service, not just a recycling service.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I honestly feel like I learned a lot today. And it makes so much sense. It's like I live with technology every day, as most of us do, kind of the same as I live with a toothbrush and toothpaste. It's just part of my daily routine. And there's people out there that I guess haven't had that opportunity yet. And it is kind of, it levels the playing field, doesn't it? If they get that access.
It really does.
Yeah.
If they get it and they learn the skills to use it.
Yeah.
So,
and I always say too, that just someone getting what they need, whatever that is, and feeling that support, like you said, when a kid starts school and they feel like they have everything, they've got their backpack, their lunchbox, they know they're going to be able to do their homework when they get to school. It gives some people a boost of confidence, and sometimes that's all they need. Maybe the laptop is just a way to reassure them that there's people in the community that are thinking of them and looking out for them and want them to succeed, which is beautiful. It's going to make me cry again. Oof. Get out of here, girl.
Right. Yeah, this is a human work that we're doing. We're having to create the narrative in Louisiana because this isn't a narrative that people are hearing.
Right.
We still live in the narrative that a computer is a luxury.
Yeah.
But we see that limited access just creates further barriers.
Yeah, and the divide becomes bigger. The gap becomes bigger. Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Sure,
I really,
thank you for
really
having
appreciate you. And if you guys are interested in learning more, we'll include all the links and websites in the show notes. And so just to close, it does seem that the hidden cost of being disconnected isn't measured just in dollars. It's measured in missed opportunities, inability to access job applications, inability to set up your budget and to really get into a good flow with your finances. And ultimately, sounds like if these gaps get closed, people are able to get a little bit closer to their purpose and maybe to their dreams, and also feel like they're not so alone.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And, here at Neighbors, we do really support financial wellness. Obviously, Kim is not here with us today, but she does an amazing job with that. And I think putting these puzzle pieces together of saying that financial literacy isn't just what you think it is, it includes everything, because money is what we work with here in the United States and all over the world to kind of make everything go round. So I really appreciate it. My eyes have been opened today, and I hope that anybody out there who needs access goes to
CACRC.com.
I was going to say it, but I was scared. CACRC.com. And as always, use the money you have, and make the money you need, and save the money you want. I'm not Kimberly Chapman. I'm Betty Mujica Milano, and this has been Money Matters. We'll see you next time.
Stay on track with your financial journey. Subscribe to the Money Matters podcast and visit neighborsfcu.org/financial wellness for more tools to help you build a strong financial future.